Good evening, Toastmasters. The renowned Chinese philosopher Lao Sha once said, "A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step." Today, we are taking a new step in the Masterclass program. Last Toastmasters year, District 82 conducted a monthly training program named Pathways Training. This Toastmaster year, that program rebranded as Masterclass. And Masterclass will take place every third Friday of the month. Throughout today's session, if you have any questions, please post them on the Q&A section so we can direct them to our speakers. As a Toastmaster, we must learn the basics of public speaking. So today, our first session will help you with organizing your speech. To conduct this session, we have an interesting personality. He is a banker who has been in the industry for 24 years and has managed many units in different banks in both operational and customer-focused areas. Certified trainer with over 15 years of experience in training, and a lecturer at Kothalavala Defense University for MBA students in communication skills. He also completed his MBA from ICFAI, India. In the Toastmasters journey, he has held various leadership roles at division and district levels, and one of the past division directors of Division J. Please welcome distinguished Toastmaster Sanjeeva Fonseca.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you can hear me well. Today is a good day for the country because at last they have decided to close the country. Let's see how we can develop our speech today. So thank you very much for all of you for joining today's session. I know it's a hectic day today because all of you had to rush for your rations and all that. So with all the challenges, I appreciate your presence today. So thank you very much. I think you can give yourself a good round of applause. Thank you very much. Shall we start sharing my screen? Yes. So first of all, let me thank our PQD Nizal Veerappan for inviting me for this session because after a long time only I'm addressing a set of lovely Toastmasters here. I've been used to this for about 2 to 3 years back, but from after about 2 to 3 years break only I'm addressing all of you. So happy to share my knowledge with you. Let's see what is there for you today. So today the topic for me is organizing your speech. I know all of you might have done at least organize one of your speeches. For sure that. There might be senior Toastmasters here who have even completed their DTM, so they might have done more than 40 projects. But still, I'm still learning. I know. Sharing our experience, we can learn a lot for today. Hope all of you are ready for this session. If you are ready, can I see whether you are ready by just typing on the chat? Yes. Can you just type yes on the chat? Yes, I'm getting a lot of yeses. Thank you very much. So let us move. Now, what is a speech? What is a speech in your understanding? What is a speech? Yeah, anything you do basically can be a speech, but it's not about just talking. When you take Toastmasters, speech is something which has definite 3 units or 3 parts or 3 portions. We all know that. First one is opening and body and a conclusion. So speech is, ladies and gentlemen, and Toastmasters, it's basically which has 3 components. Let's see what it is. Now, I'll take this. Now, yesterday when we were practicing or even having a discussion at the end in the evening, Michelle asked me, you are using this house theory, right? Yeah, I'm used to this. I've been using this house theory a lot. Now, for me, ladies and gentlemen, speech is like a house, a complete house. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you are going to take a house, what is the first thing you need to have to build a house? To have a proper house, even a multi-storied house, what do you need to have? The first thing and the solid thing. If you know the answer, just type it in the chat. Let me see what you will have to say. Yeah, foundation, yes. Plan, definitely, yes. Foundation. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. It's a foundation, yes. So for me, in a speech in Toastmasters, foundation is the key for me. I'll take it as the opening of the speech. Why? Because as I told you, if you want to have a proper house, you need to have a proper foundation. If you want to have a proper speech, yes, you need to have a proper opening, because the opening will bear the load of your speech. The opening will keep the audience with you for the rest of the time, rest of the speech with you. They will be glued to your speech based on your opening. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is my idea for the opening. And the next one is, yes, the structure. It is the body. Yes. Now here, there are certain things we are going to discuss at the latter part of the session. Let's see what it is. And remember, body should be something like, it should not be too large and it should be too small. It should be adequate for the members in the house. Hope you are getting my point here. And ladies and gentlemen, the last one, the conclusion, which I make it as the roof of the house. Why? That is what remains in the people's mind even after your speech. So here, what I want to have the roof, basically it is where, you know, at the end, even anywhere from far, anyone can see your roof. Hope you will agree with me on this. This is the conclusion. So let's see. This is a speech, but I want to tell you, this speech is in 3 parts: opening, body, conclusion. Now, I'm especially targeting here the freshers for Toastmasters. I think you will have something here to learn for yourself. What is organizing a speech? For me, what is organizing a speech? Very simply, how would I put it? Effectively putting those information in a order, in an orderly manner, definitely will help you to organize your speech. And why do we need to have the organizing? Now here they say it comes down to 2 things: credibility and audience understanding. If you have a proper organized speech, yes, that will improve your credibility and the audience will understand it better. Hope you will agree with me on this. Yeah. Yes. Now this is what I want to tell you. Benefits of organizing a speech. Why we need to organize a speech? Just because of these 4 reasons. Why? It is easier to understand. Yes. Because it has an order. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you could remember anything in your life, you would remember it with a pattern or an order. And it is easy to remember for the audience. And it is more credible. You improve your credibility and the audience will enjoy your presentation or the speech. Now, there's one more thing for the speakers here. All my young speakers here, remember, when you have an order or when you have the speech organized, not only the audience, forget about the audience, whatever said and done, you are the man who is standing in front of them and delivering the speech. For you, it is very easy to remember if you organize the speech. Hope you will agree with me on this. If you agree with me, can we type yes and see whether you agree with me, you are still with me? Yes, definitely. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for your interaction. Otherwise, it would be a dull session for all of you, right? Cool. Thank you very much. Now, the next thing we need to remember, if you want to organize a speech, there are certain things we need to focus. Number 1 thing is the purpose. Now, in Toastmaster manuals, if you see, there are elements or certain purposes which is described in Toastmasters manual. Number one is to inform. Number two is to persuade. Number two is to entertain or to inspire. Now, we generally speak for these four purposes. Now, there are specific purposes as well. You can have a specific purpose from the perspective of the audience. And when you draft a specific purpose for your speech, it has to be very specific. Now, for example, I'm going to talk to you about building a house. So when you are taking about building a house, I can't talk about building a house within 10 to 15 minutes. So what I'm going to tell you is, okay, you select the appropriate land for you. How you're going to select it? Then that is my point or my topic today. Okay, I'll tell you how to select a suitable product land. So then I'll have to think of the audience perspective and it has to be specific. So how can I make it specific? I'll tell you the areas you need to look at when you are finding the best plot of land for you. And this has to be attainable. Yeah, definitely. If I talk to the audience about selecting a good plot of land, I think it is attainable. You will understand it. Then you can go and find a land. If I'm going to tell you a way of finding a plot of land in the moon, still I'm talking about finding a plot of the land, but not attainable. Hope you will agree with me on this. So definitely, ladies and gentlemen, you need to have a specific purpose. My question is, all these things are there in the Toastmaster manuals, where you can find these. You Google, you have all these things. Now, but my question here today for you is it the only reason you speak? Now, I have got certain Toastmasters to me. I have coached certain Toastmasters. Now, they come to us and tell, I'm contesting. So, the purpose becomes the winning. Do you agree with me on this? Yes or no? If you agree with me, just type agree, not yes. Yes, there are yeses I got for the previous answer. See, yeah, definitely. Yeah, Jana, Shahira, Shani, Mudita, Kasun, thank you very much. Yes, I'll tell you one thing. When I coach someone for speaking, I will never tell, okay, I'm teaching you or I'm helping you to win. Now, I'm from Panadura Toastmasters. I've been Panadura Toastmasters for the last 11 years. Now, they know this story. I will always tell no. You're not contesting to win. You should have a message for the audience, and there's a purpose for you to deliver that speech for the audience. So what I'm going to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, find that. That comes within. Now, we have seen a lot of great Toastmasters, great speakers. Now, I emphasize the word great speakers. Now, we have seen them coming into finals. We have seen them fighting all the way, and they have come to district finals, division finals, and all that. But I feel sometimes they lose. I don't know whether I'm telling. This is what I think. I think sometimes that speech is not their speech. I'll tell you when it comes to selecting your topic. Many of the Toastmasters, they have nice speeches. But ladies and gentlemen, when they come on stage to deliver that, it's not their speech. They lose it. They don't have that passion in delivering the speech. That is one key thing we miss when it comes to Toastmasters. It's not a competition, my dear friends. It's a journey. So enjoy this journey. You're here to give your message. Now, recently I had a chat with one of our champions. We were practicing for his next speech. I'm going to tell who he is. What he was telling me is, Sanjeev, now I need to tell this story to the world. I have a story to tell. That is where I got goosebumps, because now these speakers, they have their stories to tell to the world. They want the whole world to know their story. So, ladies and gentlemen, understand that first. It's not about winning. I have seen certain people. I've been in Toastmasters for 10 years or rather 11 years now. even more than that. Yeah, some little bit more than that. So what I have seen is there are certain speakers who get their speeches written by somebody else. These speeches are classy speeches. You take it, you have everything, rhyming words, peace, and all that. But that passion is missing. If you want to become a great speaker, find that passion for that speech. Should be your speech, ladies and gentlemen. I am emphasizing this point. Hope you have got to know something. Hope you are learning something. Thank you very much for being a great audience with the responses. Let's see another response. Are you learning something here? If you are learning something, please type yes. If you are not learning, please type no. Thank you very much. We'll see what are the responses we are getting. Yeah, yes. So that means you are learning. I'm delivering something. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that honest feedback. Cool. Let us move to the next point. Everything happens for one day, now it is not working. So that happens, nothing to worry. Okay. Now when you are selecting your topic, right, I think this is one key area for all of you. I spoke with the GLI chair, Zaid. He was telling me, Sanjeevan, now people have the challenge of selecting their topic. So let us talk on that also. Now, the things I have mentioned here are from the Toastmasters directly. What they say, when you are selecting a topic, think of your personal experiences, your interest, your career, your family, your education. That's okay, yes. And there are other reference material. What are those reference materials? We all know that you can refer from the internet, websites, magazines, papers, and somebody else's stories, whatever. It's reference material for all of you, right? And yes, there are other things you need to focus on when you are selecting your topic: the audience, the occasion, and your own abilities. Right now, there is one speaker in. I'm sharing my experience. Right, I think that's the best way to deliver something. There is another speaker in Toastmasters. Now he has the ability of creating subtle humor with even audience feel it lately. I think you can understand my point. He just talked. After about 30 seconds only, people realize, man, he made a job, right? So then you start laughing on that. That's a good way of creating humor, I think, for humorous speech. That's what I love. So now you need to have those, you should know your abilities. You might not be a jack for all trades. So you need to understand where you are good at. So go and find it. That doesn't mean I am not telling you not to try other areas. You please try. Then understand your strengths and weaknesses. Yeah, you can perform better and go and win first. Win it and then go for the next. No problem. Do that. So what I'm going to tell you here is personal experience, reference material, your audience, your occasion. Let's see how we can lay these together. Okay, now we'll say you are going to talk to a set of people, youngsters, on motivating themselves. Now, what happens here is now you go to internet and type motivating yourself. You can get a lot of content. Yes, for sure. Pages and pages of content. Okay, now when you're going to deliver it, what are you going to deliver? Are you going to talk about these contents to the audience? Yeah, you can, sure. Now that is why you can see today how many trainers are coming in. How many trainers are coming into this world? I want to be a trainer. I want to become a trainer. A lot of trainers coming in. They come, they go. They come, they go. They don't retain. Why? Because that's a challenge. They don't have that ability of sharing their experience. Sometimes they don't have experience to share. Now, we being in the industry for the 25 years, now we are telling you experiences, sharing our experiences with you. In Toastmasters, we have been for the last 11 to 12 years. We had all the struggles. We had struggles to pay the membership. We had struggles to get the club members coming into the meetings. We had all these challenges. We came across with those challenges and then we challenged those challenges and we won. Now we are sharing you with the experience we have. Not only me, I'm telling you, but Nizal, everyone, yes, all senior Toastmasters, all of these people, they had those experiences. What I'm telling you is this, not talking about motivating people. If you're going to share what is there in the internet, yes, you have a lot of content to deliver. But the challenge, my dear friend, you will lose that passion. It is not your topic. There's nothing related to you. How we are going to manage it? Think of, move aside from that and you think, how, what are the instances where I can share my story with regard to this motivational stuff? How I got demotivated and how I got motivated back. What demotivated me? So think of these areas. Then you put your personal experience into this matter. Right? All of you. Now, if I may ask you, right, to type something, we'll say type yes or type, what's the word you're going to type? Free. If you were free from challenges, if you have not had challenges during your lifetime, right? If you didn't have any challenge, you just type free. If not, please type no. Let's see whether you have had challenges or not. Oh, no. We all had challenges. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. That's the story. We all had challenges. Definitely, yes. So, you didn't succumb to those challenges. You managed to come out of those challenges. Right? Yes. Otherwise, you won't be here. At this moment, you might be having challenges and you might be having plans to overcome those challenges. Right? So now think, share that experience. And can I share you another story or a secret? Yeah? Do you want to know that secret? Yes or no? If you want to know that story or the secret, just type please. Just type please. Yes or no? Please. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much for being a nice audience. Yes, I'll do that. I'll share that. Sri Lankans, especially Sri Lankans, all these Asians that can fix on all the people on earth would love to hear what? Gossip. Right? Agree with me? Yes or no? Don't we love gossip? Do we love gossip? Yes, we love gossip. All of us, we love gossip. We want to know about other people. Same. You others in the audience would love to hear about you, where you have messed up your life. Right? Now the challenges I had today, Misal is calling, Zaid is calling. Let's say 6:45, they announced the country, they are going to close the country. I was working, I had to finish office work and I had to go and pick something for the kids. I have kids, so I'll have to put something to their mouth, right? Whatever said and done. So these are challenges. Share. That is what people love here. Not only that, when you share that, remember the audience. Now, if you are to motivate set of teenagers about motivation, think of the areas where you can talk. Now, you are going to talk to a set of people who are 17, 18, and you are going to share an experience which motivated you when you were 55. So, will it help them? No, I don't think. Think of something which motivated you when you were 70. Right? So that will definitely help you to get the audience and understand the audience and the occasion. If it is, we'll say now, I always take this example when I'm talking this topic. If you are invited to do a speech after dinner, right? Speech after the dinner. I think I know the best guy in Toastmasters today in Sri Lanka to do this is Toastmaster Niranjan. He's the only one who comes to my mind. Right? Because he will definitely make sure that people won't sleep. So when you are given a chance to speak after dinner, you can't talk this serious stuff of economy and all that at that time because people are sleepy after dinner. Right? So you have to make sure first the occasion is and your abilities. If you are good at talking, good at singing, you can start the speech with a song. I will never start speech with a song. I know what will happen. I don't want to come to that situation. After that, I never want to that. Right? That happened once. People wanted me to sing in the installation. The moment I took the mic and started my mouth, people started laughing. So after that, I decided, no, I'm not going to sing anymore. But after dinner, something with something spiritual saying, yes, no problem, but not in an audience anymore, right? So thank you. Let's see what we can do. Now, this is your ability, right? It's about selecting your topic. Hope you have learned something here. I agree. I believe I have learned. You have learned something here. If you have learned something, please type yes just to see for me to move to the next point. Yeah. Yes or no, yes or no, yes or no. Yeah. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. Thank you. Houston, you are here. Thank you very much. Nice to see your name. Thank you. Okay. And the next is making an outline. Now you have seen outline. I have drawn of a person here. Not necessarily I drew it, but it's from the internet anyway. Right? I'm not so good at these artwork. Oh, this is an outline. What is an outline? When you are going to talk, think. When you are going to do a speech, think. What am I going to talk? At that time, think the rest also. To whom I'm going to talk. Why am I going to talk? What is my purpose? Right? There are 4 purposes given by Toastmasters in the national and generally accepted by public speakers. Yes. In addition, what is the specific purpose? What do I want the audience to do after this speech? Understand? I'm going to tell you how to put a tie knot. So what is my specific purpose? I want the audience to understand the way of having the tie knot after this session. This is my specific purpose. Now you need to understand all that when it comes to this point. Because we'll say when you're going to select now the point we discussed, selecting a suitable land plot to build your house. How should I logically assemble my ideas? This is it. It can be chronological. Now, when we say all of you might have done your icebreaker, you're going to talk about yourself. So when you talk about ourselves, what we do is we always take this chronological method. We arrange the ideas or the sequences in the order that has happened. I speak about the day I was born here, the day I went to the nursery and my primary education, my secondary education, my professional something, and next all that. Really is not enough, I know that. Right? So in a stage we use it, cool, chronological order. And there are directional, spatial, where you're going to talk about the directional things. Now, for example, you want the people to buy a good plot of land, then you can start selling something. Today there are many land sales coming into the market. People will buy, will block out the lands and they sell. But you should remember, when you buy a land, the purpose of you buying a land. If it is for investment, different thing. If it is for residential things, different thing. If it is for a business, a different matter altogether. So think of this purpose of buying, the purpose of buying a plot of land, and then you are directing them to a direction. Okay, then go and buy this land, right? And there are causal things. Why the cause of something and comparative. You can talk about, okay, you have 2 plots of land. One is near say paddy field, or one is near the main road. How are we going to compare those things? Now, there are pros and cons here, right? If you buy a plot of land near paddy field, you will have a good scenery and all that. And remember, in the night, you will have some insects also coming into your house. You need to understand that fact. But if you want to go to the hospital or the school, you might not have a school or a hospital close to your house. But if you buy a plot of land close next to the main road, you will definitely have a hospital or a school closer to you. And you will not have those insects, but you will have the noise of all these vehicles. And this is comparative, right? And especially I want to tell this point for our new speakers. Now, all of you, I think, many of us, even myself, once I'll tell you my experience, right? Once now, English is not the native language for all of us. Agree with this? Yes or no? Many of us are asking, believe this context, no foreigners have joined. Yeah? Yeah. English is not our mother tongue. So there are certain words which you will not know. Agree with me? Now that happened to me. I'm not a great English speaker or anyone. I don't know all the English words on earth. Now, once I was invited to do a table topic. Where is this? University of Moro to a Toastmasters club. Good thing I was the area director, the area governor at that time. I was there, the area governor. These people asking me to do an impromptu speech. My goodness. Topic master was Dr. Ranga. His English words are very good. He's an avid reader. He has good knowledge of English words. My goodness, I got a topic. Still, I don't remember the topic. And I couldn't understand the topic also at that time. Now, how can I come back? I spoke anyway. I picked one or two words of the topic and I spoke. What it happened to you? Right? Haven't you got that experience? If not, you might get that experience. How are you going to handle it? Ladies and gentlemen, understand English is not a mother tongue. Everyone struggle when they try to speak. Obvious. If you become nervous when you're speaking, or we become nervous when we speak. All the other Barack Obama, you take, everyone becomes nervous when they speak. That's normal perfectly. So, especially you will get stuck at table topics. Now, I'll give you a small tip. Now you got to talk about, we say Sri Lanka, simple topic. Now, we know what not to talk when we talk about Sri Lanka. The word starts with P. Politics or politicians or whatever. So let us forget about it. Okay, now you get the topic Sri Lanka. You come on stage. Now you can easily say, I'm going to talk about 3 points of Sri Lanka. Number 1, history or geography, economic status, or what do you call human people behavior in Sri Lanka, something like that. You can always tell, I'll speak about 2 things or 3 things about Sri Lanka. Now, this will definitely, ladies and gentlemen, will help you to gather your thoughts. Now, speaking is a psychological game. Not only speaking, seeing things, looking at things is a psychological thing. And hearing things again is a psychological thing. Now, talking is a psychological thing. How you command your brain, to focus things is this. When you go on stage, tell the audience, okay, I'm going to talk about 2 things about this topic. So the moment you tell 2 things, your brain is the organizing for you. I'm going to talk about 2 things. Okay, first one is the second one is this. Then talk about first one, second one, and summarize and finish it off within 3 minutes. You are done. Right? The advanced technique. You can always tell, okay, I'm going to talk about 3 C's of Sri Lanka. We say culture. Another word from C, we'll say culture and crops in Sri Lanka. And another one, pops of Sri Lanka. One is crops, other one is pops, and the one is culture. 3 C's. You are done. Right? Because your brain knows you're going to talk only 3 things only. Right? Now, this is good when you have a good set of vocabulary, because finding those 3 things, of course, is challenging. No, 3 C's, 3 P's, 3 A's, 3 P's, whatever is challenging. But if your vocabulary is good, yes, you can handle this. Then what happens? The audience will say always, wow, man, what a good topic that is. Yes. Yeah, and the next one is problem solution. You know, the day into problem, you can have, there are enough and more problems in the country, so you can talk about anything with the solution. The audience will have that logical order or the assembling of your ideas. Hope you will agree with me, and especially with regard to this topical thing, I told you topical text, right? Hope, especially young Toastmasters, hope you have learned something there. If you have learned something, yes, please type yes. Especially this is for the youngsters. I want you to become great speakers. So nothing to worry and talk. Cool. Thank you very much. Let's proceed. Now the next one is the opening. You can say the opening, right? So first impression, right? So always remember what is first impression. Now, there are certain quotations or quotes we have heard about first impression. Can someone type it for me? First impression is something. Let's see how you will type it. This is a bit lengthy. I know that. I know that. So bear with me. Just give some activity for your fingers. Is the best impression. Best impression. What else? What else? What else? There's some last something. Last something. Oh, yeah. Okay. There's something. Yes, I got what I wanted. Yes. First impression is the last impression. Is it the right thing? No. The right thing is this. First impression is not the last impression. First impression is the lasting impression. What does that mean? It will prevail. So make sure have a good first impression, right? Because first impression is the lasting impression. So make sure to have a good first impression, because you won't get a second chance to make a great first impression. Always have a great first impression, because you don't get a second chance to make a great first impression. This is like this under a story, not under a Kiriyami story. You know, somebody is telling, okay, now when you have a bath, you're going to have the first bucket of water. It is very cold. So we are going to have the first bucket of water without getting cold. What do they say is, okay, you drop the first bucket of water and start have a bath from the second bucket of water. So won't you feel the coldness when you have the second bucket of water? No, for sure no, because it is still your first bucket of water. This is like that. So make sure you won't get a second chance to make a great first impression. Think of yourself, dress properly, have the first 30 seconds ready with you. Have the first 30 seconds ready with you, right? And have a good posture. When you are standing, have a great posture. Yeah, like this. Wow, wow, wow. You can do anything, right? You can move your body. It's not about slanting to one side or something like that. So have a great posture and start your speech. Definitely that will give the first impression a great one. Okay. Then there's something here, opening. Now the opening is, again, I will tell you, there are certain things we won't recommend. An apologetic statement. Oh, yeah, I got something. I'm sorry, I couldn't come on time and all that. Apologetic. Why you should don't do that, because then it will take the audience mindset to a negative mindset. So anything you talk positive won't reach there, right? An inappropriate joke or a story. Do anything which is appropriate for the speech. Now, sometimes people say, "This is what I think." I don't know, but I tell only, right? My view. This is my view. Some people say when you are speaking, don't turn your back to the audience. But what I say, don't talk any vulgar or anything like that. Even it is appropriate, because this is professional, right? If it is appropriate, do anything. Because it is appropriate for your speech. You know it. No one knows it. The judges won't know that. The general evaluator won't know that. You only know it. So do it. But remember, you have a proper purpose for it. Right? If you can remember, I forgot his name. An Indian guy who became the. I remember his name. He started the speech by turning the back to the audience. I was there in the audience, and that day, and he became the champion. I don't see a problem there, because it is appropriate for speech. Right? A trite question, very lethargic, nothing normal question won't help you to get the attention of the audience. Right? Starting a good question definitely will help you to get the audience. So we recommend them. That is why we have I have put them in green, and the things I don't recommend, I have put it in red. Right? An appropriate quotation or a story, display of some objects. We call them props. You can use a prop. Okay, I can say, this is what I have now, but this is not what Alexander Graham Bell invented. We have come thus far from that time, something like that. It gives you an opening. So you're showing something. The people are with you. They look at you, right? Okay, this is what I want to tell you with regard to opening. And next is the body, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. Remember, this is the house, the structure, the main part of the body. Here, there are certain things you need to remember. You need to limit this based on the time and the occasion. Time in the sense that one is the time allocated, and the next is the time you speak. It can be after lunch. So then you have to think of the body, adjust it, have a joke, humor part, and more interaction, more activity, and something for that time appropriate. And next thing, now the content wise. This is not the content we are talking. This is less content, no content, not enough. This is spilled over, too much content. People can't grasp it, it's too much. This is not what we are talking. We Toastmasters, we don't recommend this. This is what we recommend. The right level of content, appropriate to the audience, for the occasion, and according to your topic. Now, when you are a seasonal speaker, you will get to know these things. But first 5 to 10 speeches, yes, this is a challenge. But that will help you to learn. We all had this. We all had this. Finding the content. Yes, challenging. Now we all manage it. Cool. And next one is the conclusion. Now, this is where, ladies and gentlemen, people will remember you. What is the word I tell? What is the word I told you? Remember you. Just type that word for you to remember the word better. Just type the word. I know then you will remember the word. Remember. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Lovely, lovely audience. Lovely. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Lovely. Remember. So you're making your brand there. You are creating a perception in your audience. Make memorable. I'll tell you a nice example which happened to me. Right? Take about 2 to 3 minutes. Which is memorable. Now, people still remember this. I think I know for sure Nizal will remember this. And certain Toastmasters were with us in 2000, I think 17 or somewhere. This is the reverberations in Vellore Institute of Technology. I was the contestant for the evaluation speech contest. I still remember this. You know, people who have seen me knows my height anyway. The rest, of course, you'll have to imagine, right? I was not, not that tall, right? So I was at the lectern and I was the contestant. I was reading the script and the contestants are there. So the next line I was to ask was this: contestant, are the doors secured? Now, when I am to ask this, right, I saw a bus has come from the hotels, and many of them are Sri Lankans. Now, the bus have picked Sri Lankans and Sri Lankan Toastmaster have come there, and the sergeant at arms is opening the door, and people are coming in now. Now, logically, I can't ask that question: are the doors secured? Because I know for sure the door is not secured. Right now, I'm looking at the sergeant at arms. Now, but I know that more than 800 people in the audience, they were looking at me. I know for sure that they are looking at me because their attention is me, right? Their spotlight is me. Now, I'm looking at the sergeant at arms. Now, they are wondering, what am I going to do? Am I right? This is what happens, right? We all know that. So now, logically, I can't ask that question. So I was waiting. Now I know. Now I've been recorded. I mean, camera, and I've been put on those dance screens. I know the audience will see my facial expressions also. I'm smiling and looking at the contestant. And after the last Sri Lankan entered the hall, I asked Sergeant at arms. Now this is again not in the script, right? Sergeant at arms, I was waiting to ask this question from you. At least now are the doors secure? The whole audience, 800 or 800, more than 800, they started laughing. And there, I know, I became memorable. That was something memorable. I still love that experience because that was spontaneous. It's not nothing planned, and that went well. And that didn't do any harm to anyone, right? Not even to me, not even to the audience, not even to Sergeant at arms. It was a very innocent humor. Yeah, everyone laugh. So you can do these things when you are experienced and not nervous. And again, if you are ready to take a little bit of a risk, right? Now we can turn either way, right? You never know. So always remember these things can happen. So for me, that is very memorable because on that day, our Toastmaster Sadhun Fernando became the district champion for evaluation. And I was very happy for that because I was privileged to be the contestant in that. So, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you have a memorable conclusion to get the attention for them to remember you. Okay. And summarize your message. I'm not going to tell you, I'm not telling you to summarize the speech or what you discussed. Summarize your message. Very simple. Summarize your message. That would be enough. Otherwise, you have 7 minutes to do a speech and you're going to summarize the whole speech at the end. No, that won't come, but summarize, give emphasis to your message. And always remember, when I was talking earlier, there was a purpose. You wanted something from the audience, right? After this speech, you wanted something from the audience. Remember this. Relate the conclusion to that. Emphasize that message. Otherwise, you start having something in mind and you conclude with something that won't match. That won't match, right? So remember this. And this is the icing on the cake. This is the icing. You have baked the cake and all that. This is the icing. This is the roof on the house because anyone from far will be able to see the roof, not the house. Anyone from an aeroplane will be able to see the roof, not the house. The roof is your icing. The roof is your conclusion. Always remember to have a good conclusion. So in my conclusion, I'm going to show you two different fruits. One is an orange, another one is an apple. Right? Luckily, those two starts with vowels, and you have to have that with N. Okay. Can we compare these two? No, it isn't, because you can't compare because these are two different fruits. You can't say orange is better, you can't say the apple is better. That depends on the taste of the people. Those are two different fruits which gives two different nutritions, two different tastes. Right? So avoid comparison, ladies and gentlemen, because it drains your energy out. If you compare yourself with someone, it drains your energy out, not his energy. You're focusing on himself. If you focus on yourself, you have your energy with you, right? Because now there's a saying, energy goes where focus goes. Where your focus is, energy is there. So remember, have the focus with you, in you, okay? Now, if you can read this, just read this. A flower does not think of comparing to the flower next to it. It just blooms. Now we have many flowers in a flower garden. Now these flowers will not look at the other flower. Oh man, I'm white. This is red. Oh, I'm blue. This is yellow. No, they won't do that. The flowers will bloom as it is, as they are. As they are. Flower is as it is. And that flower will spread the fragrance on to this world to make the world a better place. So all of you are flowers in that flower garden, my dear ladies and gentlemen. So be yourself, understand your perspective, your objective, your purpose when you are speaking. You're not somebody else, be yourself. There are ways you can win the contest, true, but focus on your purpose and focus on yourself. See where you can develop yourself, which will help you to become a nice flower which is in the flower garden. So wish all my flowers a nice lockdown 10 days. Focus on yourself, try to develop yourself. Nizal, thank you very much for inviting me, and Rochelle and Zaid, thank you very much for taking me today and bearing with me for all these troubles. Thank you very much. Over to you, Rochelle. Thank you very much.
Thank you, DTM Sanjeeva, for that very insightful session. And Toastmasters, it is now time for the Q&A session where you can clear out all your concerns. You may now direct your questions towards us through listing them down on the chat box. And we have a question. So, DTM Sanjeeva, so this question is, what is the ideal time duration for the closing of the speech? And on average, how many words for the speech?
Yeah, now if you are talking about 5 to 7 minute speech, now there are different speeches we do. Now, for example, you're talking about 5 to 7 minute speech. I would say the last 1 minute to 45 seconds would be ideal, because sometimes we have seen people when they see the red card only, they remember, okay, I need to stop the speech, and they abruptly stop it. No, when you plan it for about 40 minutes, 40 seconds or something, little above than 40 seconds. Then I think you can slowly stop your speech, which will be there, definitely will hit the audience. I think I have answered your question.
Okay, so moving on to the next question. Is it okay to draft the speech and decide the topic, or do we have to decide the topic and then draft?
My recommendation, right? I'm telling you, my recommendation, draft the speech first. Don't think of the topic, and have a topic which will, because once you finalize the draft, you might know there are certain, this is like this now, Rochelle. Now we sometimes start drafting a speech. By the time we end the draft, 2 to 3 drafts, the final product, it is not something the speech we thought initially. It is something totally different. So after that, you have a attention grabbing topic, because that is sometimes is where you can catch the audience from the inception. So I think I have answered you. Thanks.
Yes, thank you very much. So we are waiting for more questions. If you have any concerns, please do drop in the question and answer box on the Zoom platform. So we have a question in the chat box asking the structure that you mentioned is applicable for the icebreaker or not?
Anyone, anything, any speech, because if you take an icebreaker that has an opening, that has the body, that has the conclusion. If you do an evaluation, that has an opening, body, and a conclusion. So we'll say in an evaluation to summarize at the end, in the conclusion. So I think, Rochelle, this is for all the speeches, depending on the time. Now, certain, we'll say speech crafters, icebreaker is for about 2 to 3 minutes. Then you can't get 40 seconds to finish the speech. You'll have to manage it accordingly for 30 seconds, and the structure remains the same, because you can't tell everything about you within 4 to 6 minutes or 2 to 3 minutes. So the theory remains the same.
All right, thank you. So we have another question. This is not regarding general speeches. This is regarding vote of thanks. Any tips for a great opening for a vote of thanks speech?
Okay, so I'll tell you one thing. When it comes to vote of thanks, there are certain usual methods we hear. We started rolling a long time back. You know, things, every good thing should come to an end. Now, these are very common. Try to have something uncommon. I still remember one, it was done by Toastmaster actually, DTM. What are thanks? Now she wanted people to clap when she claps. Then the first thing she told, ladies and gentlemen, it's there's something you need to do. When I clap, you need to clap. So what she did was, now we need to thank chief guest for gracing this occasion. So people start clapping. So it was something very innovative thing. So what I did is avoid those things, because when it comes to vote of thanks, everyone knows it is the end. So it is your duty to keep them for that 2 to 3 minutes again, have an attention grabbing opening. Avoid those usual things. Anything other than that will definitely help the audience to be with you. I think I have answered your question. Thank you.
All right. Yes, thank you so much. So as we are having some time constraints, we shall stick to one more question. So this was constantly asked regarding how many words in general for the speech.
Yeah, 5 to 7. Now we all know average speed per person. I'm not referring to the lady, right? Ladies will definitely, with all due respect to ladies will definitely speak more words than a gent. So average is 125 words per minute. So if you think about 5 to 7 minutes, it's roughly around, we'll say 6 minutes, around 125 to 6, around 720 words. So that depends on your speed. My recommendation is plan for 125 into 5, 625, around 700 words. Rehearse the speech and see whether you go over time, because there are certain pauses, there are certain places you need to keep room for the audience to laugh and clap and enjoy. Leave some time, and that will definitely give you the exact number of words. That depends on your speed. It is not my speed. My speed, the Rochelle speed, Vishal, Zaid, we are different from each other. So it depends your speed. But the recommendation is 125 words per minute into the number of minutes you are going to talk.
So thank you. So I think I was informed that we have more time. So with that, I shall ask another question. Are there any tips for transitions from opening to body to conclusion?
Yeah. So what I want to tell you is this now. All these points should have a proper transition. Now we'll say you're going to talk about stones and something, one point to another, it has to have a relationship. That is where you need to have the logical order in the points where you can relate them. Now, the example I discussed, finding a plot of land. If you start, okay, in Sri Lanka, there are many places to buy land. There are many land sales. Okay, now we have that. Now we are slowly directing them. Okay, in that sense, find a place which is closer to your place. Now it is transition, right? You are slowly taking the big picture, you are slowly taking it out. Think of the place you live, which is closer to your place, where you can easily build a house. Otherwise, if you buy something far away from your place, it is very difficult for you to build a house. And now we are coming again with a link to that, and then see what is your purpose, how many members are in the family, then what's the extent of the house you want to build, and then decide the extent of the land you want. Then decide, you come into that point. So that is the relationship you need to have. The transition should be smooth. It's not like you might have gone travel with it in those CTV buses, where they had the manual gears, right? So when they sometimes change the gear, everyone knows that this guy is changing the gear. But now in automated auto gear vehicles, you won't feel that. So always make your speech auto gear vehicle. That will definitely help the rider to have a smooth ride. It's up to the speaker. The tip is, friends, always think the logical order. Then you can easily have the transition. Thanks.
All right. Thank you so much. So with that, we have come to the end of the first Q&A session. So thank you everyone for your active participation. And once again, thank you, DTM Sanjeeva.
Thanks, Roshan. Thank you very much.
With that being said, we shall now proceed to the second session of the evening. As club leaders, it is important that we have a proper plan for the year, so leaders know the direction. So our next session will be around the topic of the club success plan. In order to conduct this session, we have an outstanding individual who strives for the best in Toastmasters. He is a product manager working at Cake Engineering, an old boy of St. Joseph's College, Colombo 10. He completed his bachelor's in computing degree from the Staffordshire University and master's in information technology from the University of Colombo. He started his Toastmasters journey 9 years ago and held various leadership roles at division and district levels. Last year, served District 82 as the club growth director and helped District 82 become Smedley Distinguished. And currently serving as Distinguished Toastmaster, Nisal Virakon.
Thank you, Rochelle, for that wonderful introduction. So let me start sharing my screen. So, dear leaders and fellow Toastmasters, have you ever been in that situation where you actually planned for something, but you felt that you can improve that plan? If you have been in that situation, just type yes in the chat. Wonderful set of members have been in that situation where we plan, but our plans can be still better. Superb. Now, today I'm going to talk about how you can build your club success plan. By now, most of you might have already done that, completed that, and maybe you have kept it aside. But let's see after this session whether you can revisit that plan and whether you can improve that plan further. Now, when it comes to a plan, most of the time, this happens to most of us. We have our own plan. We feel that it will be a very smooth journey towards the place where we want to reach. But in reality, we would not be able to go in that very smooth sailing road. We will have a lot of difficulties, obstacles to go through. Haven't we all felt that? If you have felt that in your journey, just type yes on the chat. Superb. All of us have been in that situation. Wonderful. Thank you for all your answers. Now, this is the club success plan which I'm going to talk about today. Most of you might have filled a one-page document already, but today I'm going to talk about the 22-page Toastmasters International Club Success Plan. If you have not seen this document so far, I would encourage you to go to Toastmasters website, go to the resource section and search for the Club Success Plan and download this document and go through this document after this session. This will help you in your leadership journey as a club officer. Now, it is very important we ask this question soon as we start. Why do we need the club success plan? Why do we need? The club leaders in the audience, can you share why do we need a club success plan? Any answers? Can we get one or two answers from the audience? Why do we need? Do we know the why for a club success plan? Gives the direction, correct. To plan the year, wonderful. The direction, planning, yes. Superb, yes. Wonderful. Let's continue. Yes, it will set the foundation for your team. Now, as soon as you start your term, the executive committee, when you get together, when you do this activity, it will put the foundation for your team. And it will give the focus towards your club goal. Each one of your clubs will have unique goals for your club. But when you do this club success plan, you will know how to focus towards your goals. It will help you to achieve your goals. And the club success plan will guide and it will keep a track of your progress towards the DCP, the Distinguished Club Program, throughout the year. So this is why we need the club success plan. To start off, it is very important that we understand the team. So when you prepare your club success plan, it is important that you understand your team, the team you're going to work for the next 1 year. So let's see how we can understand the team. First, we need to understand the team composition. Most often we have the 7 club officers, the immediate past president, yes, Dear friends, we have the immediate past president in your team as well, but most of the time we forget that he is part of your executive committee. He is supposed to mentor you, guide you in your journey, and give you advices. But do we actually reach out to our immediate past presidents? I doubt. Most of the time we forget the immediate past president. So beyond these two, sometimes you might have shadow exco members. Sometimes you have extended teams under you. So these people will also come under this team composition. So first you need to understand who is part of your full entire team. The second step, what you need to do is you need to understand the core values, how your team will work throughout the year. What are the club executive committee's core values? Now in Toastmasters, we have set of core values, which are integrity, respect, service, and excellence. These values, the Toastmasters international core values, are recommended to incorporate at any decision making at any level. So it is best that you all as a club executive committee also can adhere to the Toastmasters core values as executive committee. Moving on, the team operating principles. What principles does the executive committee hold? For examples, the principles might include the trust, the safe environment, the collaborations. So ask your team, what are the operating principles that your team would adhere to throughout the year? And most importantly, as a team, ask what are the potential obstacles. Dear friends, this is one part which most of us miss in our journey. We don't ask what are the obstacles we will face in this journey in the beginning itself. Understand the obstacles and try to plan and avoid these obstacles. If you don't think of the obstacles in the beginning itself, then the pitch I showed you in the beginning would become the reality, because you're not thinking about the obstacles. So there can be personal conflicts, time managing difficulties. Various individuals have various other activities to go towards. So as a team, you need to understand how the team would meet, what are the obstacles for the entire executive committee when they do activities. Sometimes there can be obstacles. For example, your VPPR might not know much about creating flyers. Even though he went for the officer training program, he still might need some more support, guidance. That can be an obstacle. So how to overcome that obstacle? You can reach out to your area director, you can reach out to district officers, get more support from the district PR team, get some help, get some training for the VPPR. So in the beginning itself, identify these obstacles inside your team, because if you can fix all these obstacles in the beginning itself, your journey will be very smooth. Going beyond, what will be your team's meeting protocol? How often would the exco would meet? If your executive committee is meeting every month, wonderful. Continue that. That spirit should be there. But if your executive committee is not meeting at least for 3 months, then dear friends, ask yourself, there is a problem. So from the beginning itself, when you create your club success plan, understand the meeting protocol, how often you will meet your team. And the last part, the team interactions and behavioral norms. How would you take a decision as a team? How would you communicate things to the entire team? When there is a conflict inside the team, how would you collectively resolve that conflict? How will the executive committee be accountable for the activities you do? And if someone needs support in your executive committee, how would you get that support for that specific executive committee members? Have you planned for all these things? Have you thought about all these things as an executive committee? Have you? Can I get some answers? Can you be very honest and share with me as a club office? Have you thought about these things? Yes or no in the chat? A lot of you are saying no, no, not yet. So dear friends, it's time for you to think about these things because your journey has already started. This is the second month of your term. Some of you, I'm happy that two, three individuals are saying yes. But for all the people who said not yet, take some time, ask these questions and brainstorm and come with set of answers for all these potential questions. Because the moment you get answers for all these questions, your journey will be very smooth in the coming few months. Now we all spoke about the team, the executive committee. Most often we forget about one core thing. We need to understand the member. In our clubs, we have a lot of members from different backgrounds. All these members have different needs. Some of our members join our clubs for networking, for public speaking, for leadership. But do we know and do we understand the needs of each of these members? Now, the way you can understand the member is by conducting a member interest survey. As a club, have you conduct a member interest survey beginning of this year? Can I get some answers from the audience? How many of your clubs have already conducted the member interest survey? Some of you are saying yes, some of you are saying no. For the individuals who are saying no, dear friends, conduct this soon as possible. Because every year our members will have different set of interests. One year a member can be very much interested towards public speaking. Next year that member can be interested towards building their leadership skills. So every year the executive committee needs to understand the member interest by doing the member interest survey. Because if you don't understand the needs of your member, it will be hard to serve your members in this Toastmasters year. So my humble request to all of you executive committee members, start doing the member interest survey every year, every Toastmasters year. Make this as a pattern, a tradition in your club. Once you understand your club members, you need to go and do a situational analysis of your club. How can you do that situational analysis? Is deep dive in. Ask these questions. How will your club support the club mission and add new members? How would you gain attraction of guests and how would you convert guests into new members? Are you going to have special programs to attract new members? Are you going to do open house programs? Or are you going to do a social media campaign? What kind of activities are you going to do throughout this year to attract more new members? Because in this Toastmasters journey, we need new members. So what's your plan? I'm sure if I ask this question from the audience, some of you might say, yes, we have already thought about it. Some of you might say, no, we have not thought about it. But dear friends, ask this question as Exco and come up with an idea, a plan around these questions. Next, let's talk about pathways. How will you, our club, prepare new members to work in pathways? Every year we get new members to our club. Soon as a new member comes, how do we groom that new member to get enrolled in pathways? How do we train that new member in the pathways? Do we have a plan as the executive committee? Do we know who's going to train the new members to enroll in the pathways? What's the duration? Soon as the member joins, are we going to get that individual enrolled after 1 month, after 1 week, after 2 months? How soon are we getting the new member enrolled to pathways? Ask these questions. Create a plan around this because it's very important. Who will be responsible for showing them around the base camp? I told already. So soon as the member comes, you need to assign someone to guide the member in the pathways, how to do speeches, how to go use the pathways base camp, and most importantly, enroll the new member to the program soon as the member comes in. I have seen most of the clubs, new member comes in, even after 3 months, the new member have not enrolled to pathways. My question, what was that new member doing 3 months without enrolling to pathways? What was the educational program that new members were doing for 3 months without enrolling? So dear friends, soon as the new member joins your club, ideally within 1 week, you need to guide the new member to enroll in pathways. And you need to guide the new member to use pathways. We need to come up with this pattern, with this tradition in all our clubs. If we do this, our club quality will get increased. So next, let's ask the next question. Engaging in meetings, the obstacles what we would face in a typical meeting environment. What actions are being taken to motivate members to attend club meeting and sign up for roles? Have you been in that situation as executive committee where you felt that you need your club members to come up and take roles? If you have been in that situation, just type yes. If you have not been in that situation, type no. Yes, you have been in that situation. So why is this happening? Why are members not motivated to take up roles? Do our members know how to conduct the role properly? Have we instructed them properly? Have they read how to wear, Toastmasters wear many hats manual, and do they know how to conduct the role? Have we as the executive committee, have we shared this document with new members so they can read and learn about the roles? One best practice, what I would recommend all of you, if you are trying hard to get members for your meetings, first you need to do is you need to talk with your members and understand the needs, the member needs. Ask them why they are not coming for the meetings. There will be an answer for that why. If you can solve that why, your members will come for meetings. And when you assign an individual for a meeting, always the best practice is share the document. Toastmasters wear many hats. Just Google that and you can find that document. Share that. Groom that individual to do that role. And when that individual knows about the role, enjoy the role, and knows the benefit of playing that role, that individual will do more roles. So try to motivate, try to understand why members are not coming. So that is a good point where you can start and where you can resolve these obstacles. So let's move on with the other areas which we might face when it comes to the situational analysis. What obstacles keep members from being engaged in the club meeting? I think we already touched upon that. So you need to go and ask the why from the members. How will you support its existing members to keep active in pathways? We have seen most of the time people do icebreaker, the second speech. After that, they are not actively taking part in pathways program. Go again and ask them why. Maybe they don't know how to do the next project. Maybe they might need more extra support to do the next project. So you need to understand that why. So understanding this situation in your club, doing this situational analysis will help you as executive committee member. Let's talk about the next important topic, the renewals. What's the club's action plan for preparing for the preparation of the renewals, collecting renewals? Who will be responsible for this? And what's the club's plan to help members renew on time? And how are you going to get the members who have not been active? How are you going to motivate them to join the program again and continue their Toastmasters journey? Ask these questions as an executive committee and try to find solution for these problems or questions in the beginning itself, beginning of your term, because more sooner you get the answers, your journey will be very smooth. Next, let's talk about the Distinguished Club Program. Most of you might know the Distinguished Club Program have 10 sections, 10 points to achieve. And we call the Distinguished Club Program as the heartbeat of the club. If a club is unable to at least meet 5 DCP goals, then the heartbeat of that club is not functioning properly. We need to give support, and we need to do something to make sure that heartbeat is functioning again. So as a district, we always recommend a club to achieve at least minimum 5 DCPs. If a club can't achieve that, then as a district, we are concerned. So let's talk in depth about the DCP goals. But before we talk about the DCP goals, we need to understand the qualifying requirement. Clubs who have 20 or more needs to maintain 20 members always for the renewals. And for clubs who don't have 20, needs to have a member growth of at least 5 new members to get qualified for the DCP program. Most of the time, our members forget about the qualifying requirement. I have seen last year, the club have achieved 10 DCP points, but still they are not qualified because they are not meeting this criteria. So dear members, keep in mind, first you need to get qualified for the DCP program to achieve the DCP points. This is a simple example of a dashboard where you will see for a 20 or more club or a 20 and less club. So under distinguished club program, there are many goals which you can achieve. You can become distinguished, select distinguished, president distinguished. So as a club executive committee, what goal do you want to achieve? Your club needs to talk, the executive committee needs to talk and take that decision collectively. So you need to ask this question from your executive committee. Now let's deep dive into the educational goals. Let's do a situational analysis for your educational goals in your club. First, what you need to do is you need to understand the current situation. You need to understand where each member stands in pathways, what level, what speech. If you don't have a document maintaining for that, I recommend you start an Excel sheet and maintain this progress of each member in that Excel sheet. Member progress is very important. Then ask the second question, what are the obstacles each member might face in completing projects? And how you as executive committee can resolve these obstacles, because soon as you resolve the obstacles, the member will be motivated to do more in the pathways, which will help your club. And the next question, have these members know about pathways? Are they familiar with the pathways program? Ask these questions. Have you done a pathways training session in your club for your members to educate them on the pathways details? And when a new member comes, how soon are you going to enroll? How are you going to support? Ask all these questions. How are you going to do an introduction to pathways for the new members? And for the existing members, how are you going to support them? All these things needs to be analyzed in the Distinguished Club program. And you need to do a situational analysis for the educational goals section. So, dear leaders, have you done this analysis for your club when it comes to the educational goals? Can I get some answers? Yes, no, maybe. We are getting yes, yes, yes. Most of you are saying yes. It's very great to see that. Superb, superb. You have done an analysis, the situational analysis of your club when it comes to educational goals. If you have done that, the next thing what you need to do is you need to build an action plan. Based on your situational analysis, you need to set what are the actions you are going to take for all these things what we spoke in the situational analysis section. What are the resources you are going to use? Who are you going to assign all these things, activities? What's your timetable and what's your backup plan? This is very important. Most of the time, we think that one member might achieve that level and give that credit to the club. But if that member gets sick, if something happens to that member, what's the backup plan? Have you thought about the backup plan? If you have not thought about your backup plan for your club educational goals, dear friends, think about the backup plan soon after this session, because it is very important as leaders, we have a backup plan for our activities, our leadership journey, the things what we do. Most often we fail because we don't have a backup plan. Dear friends, key important thing. For your plan, you need to have a backup plan. In your club, you have 20 members. So there are a lot of members who can contribute for your DCP goals. So search that backup plan. Let's go for the membership goals. Here as well, what you need to do is you need to do a situational analysis. You need to understand the current membership strength, the obstacles you might foresee in the year, how many members you might lose. If continuously one member is not turning up for meetings, then it's a red flag for you. That member might not continue your membership. You need to understand that. You need to do a situational analysis and you need to prepare yourself for that member loss. Do the analysis again, create an action plan, create set of actions, set resources, assign the resources for individuals in your team, set a timetable, and continue that journey. When it comes to the training goals, again, you need to do a situational analysis. You need to understand the current situation and the obstacles. Now here it's tricky. The training is given for the executive committee. What are the foreseeable obstacles the executive committee might face? Still, there can be obstacles. Your trainings can fall on a weekend, but some of your executive committee members might be fully working on the weekends. That can be obstacle. So as the club exco, you need to understand those obstacles in advance. After identify those obstacles, again, create an action plan, set resources, assign individuals, and create a timetable that might help you. Administration goals, again, do a situational analysis, understand the current situation, foreseeable obstacles, create action plan. Do all these things. Once you do all these things, once you find answers for all the questions what I shared today, you need to do one thing. You need to go and fill and complete the club success plan document. It's a 22-page document. It's a 22-page document which is given by Toastmasters International. I encourage you, take time, take at least 2-3 minutes as executive committee, get together, answer all these questions what I shared you today, and fill that document. It is very important you fill in that. Once you fill that document, sign the document. All 7 executive committee members sign. Because when you sign, you know for what you are signing for. Toastmasters International is suggesting the executive committee members to sign and give their confirmation for the club success plan. So fill the document as an entire exco and sign it. And quarterly review the document and update the document. I'll share a secret which most of the time happens in most of the clubs. Most of our clubs fill the club success plan. They have a wonderful club success plan. They submit or they just keep it somewhere. After that, they don't revisit the document. And they are going through hardships throughout the year. Why? They don't look at the club success plan. They don't revise it. They don't update it. They don't review it. It's just a document for some executive committees. Don't do that in your club. Use it as a tracker, as a guidance document for your journey. Let me share a few do's and don'ts, what you should do and what you should not. Fill the document collectively. I have seen in some executive committees, maybe the president or the VP education single-handedly take the entire document, just fill it and keep it. Don't do it. There is no point if one person is going to fill that. And always when you do all these things, take practical approaches. Understand the surrounding, understand the current situation, what all of us are going through, and take practical approaches for all the things in the document. And talk to your members before you put that member's name to the document. Most of the time I have seen the document says this individual will do level 1 by this date. But when we go and ask that individual doesn't know that his name is behind that document. Don't do that mistake. Talk to the member, tell that we want you to be part of our club success plan. Help us by completing your educational goals. Get them involved. Tell them that you're putting them to this document. Don't do that simple mistake where you just put the names for the sake of putting. And always have a backup plan. These days we need backup plan. Things might not go the way we really want it to go. And quarterly review your club success plan as a team. And again, these are the don'ts. I spoke about these things. Don't feel alone. Don't put random names from your club exco. And don't forget to go through the document also. And if you want to learn more about this document and the Distinguished Club program, go and read this document, which is available on the Toastmasters International website. Because this will give you more guidance, more knowledge about the DCP and the club success plan. So dear friends, it is very important that we have a proper plan. It is very important we understand the situation. We do a proper situational analysis. We have proper action plan. We have a backup plan. If we do all these things in the beginning, we can go and reach the destination where we want to go and the things what we want to achieve, even though we know there will be obstacles. The sooner we know that we are going to face the obstacle and we have identified the solution also, it's easy for you to face that obstacle. So dear friends, if you have not done this activity, filling this 22-page club success plan, I encourage all of you to take time, fill this document. It will give you so much knowledge, idea about your club, and especially about your club executive committee members. And finally, there is no growth in comfort. Don't expect things to happen easily. Sometimes we need to go through hardships to get that growth. We need to come out from our comfort zone. And when we come out from our comfort zone and when we do great things, great results will follow you. And when you achieve great things, make sure as a club, as executive committee, you go and celebrate all these things. So dear leaders, I hope you learn a lot of things from this session, and I humbly encourage all of you to go and complete that 22-page Toastmasters International Club Success Plan. With that, thank you very much for listening to us this session. We would now take questions from you and move to the Q&A session. Over to you, Rochelle.
Thank you, DTM Nisal, for that in-depth content regarding the Club Success Plan. It is now time for the Q&A session where you can clear out all your concerns. And you may now direct your questions towards us through listing them down in the Q&A box. So we have one question already. So it says there are some members who say they like to attend physical meetings, and when it comes to online meetings, they engage in other work, maybe their personal commitments. So how can we motivate them to attend online meetings?
Wonderful question. For the last 1 year, more than 1 year, I think I heard this question. But what I want all of you to understand is, ask why our members are not coming. One of the answers which I found is there is no fellowship. We don't have fellowship in our online meetings. We don't get the chance to talk with each other. If that is the problem, have some space in your club meeting to have fellowship. Maybe be before the meeting or after the meeting. Put that fellowship part for your meetings, because when it comes to physical meetings, we had a lot of time to talk with our members. We had time to interact with them before the meeting, after the meeting. But in the online platform, it's not there in some clubs. So I encourage, start with that. And if a member says, I don't want to come for an online meeting, go and ask why they don't want to come. Maybe they might not have the equipment properly to come for the meeting, or maybe they might have a different difficulty, or they might not feel the fellowship part of the meeting. So just understand the why and find the solution for that why. So that's the answer which I can give.
All right, thank you so much. I think that is a very important tip for every one of us with the current situation. So we have another question. Could you recommend a resource to use for situational analysis?
A tool.
Yes,
Okay.
a resource or a tool.
Right. So there is it's hard to give a tool, because a situational analysis is all about your club, because you need to understand your members. So what I would recommend is first list down the names of each of your club members, and if you can get the attendance of the past few meetings of the club members, that will help you as well. If you see that one member is not continuously coming for a meeting, then it's a red flag for you. If one member has come for just one meeting out of 3, these are data. So what I would recommend is to do your situation analysis. You need data. So collect that data and then sit down with the executive committee and analyze that data. Understanding your data and the past history data of your club will help you, will guide you in your journey. So a tool, there is no specific tool, but you can start off with understanding the data of your club members.
All right. So moving on to the next question, how can we get new members to understand that it's about helping them achieve their goals sooner and not about the club wanting to achieve points within a specific time period when talking about the club success plan with them?
Wonderful. So I'll tell it in a simple way. What we need to do in our clubs is we need to have a new member orientation program in our clubs. That is one key thing which is lacking in most of our clubs. When a new member joins in, they don't know about pathways. They don't know about the club culture. They don't know about the club leaders, the past leaders, the club achievements. They don't know. So suddenly we go and tell them, hey, this is the educational program. You can go in this program and achieve things and do things. And when you come and ask again, can I put your name for the club success plan because we want to achieve, they get this wrong idea. So the simple starting point for anyone is, if your club doesn't have a new member orientation program in your club, have a new member orientation program. Talk about pathways, talk about mentoring in that program, talk about your club culture, club achievements, share all these things. Once you share, they will understand the real idea, the real concept about Toastmasters. And most importantly, in this session, talk about Toastmasters, Toastmasters history, the leaders in Toastmasters. Share these pictures, talk about them, guide them in this journey. Once you guide them properly, they will identify and understand the correct aspect of Toastmasters and their journey.
All right. And we have another important question. Could you please explain where to upload the page 1 of the club success plan and the importance of the same, as well as where to upload the 22-page club success plan?
Wonderful. This is coming from our district director. Yes, our district director wants to highlight this point. Right. So the 22-page club success plan is the club success plan which is given by Toastmasters International, which we recommend you to complete that, and you can go to the Club Central and upload that in the Club Central. There's a new option in the Club Central. You can upload that in the Club Central. There is a one document, like one-page document, club success plan, which is given by District 82 to make things a little bit easy for you. So that you can upload in the D82 website submission section once you complete it. So the deadline for that was some time back. It's gone now. So these are two different documents. Toastmasters International document is the document which I spoke today in this presentation, because when you do that, when you go through that entire process, you will learn a lot. But District 82 document is a one-page document. What we want you to fill, a summarized document, you can fill it and upload to the D82 website. Hope I answered that question.
Yes. And so we do not have any more questions. So please, if you have any concerns, please do drop on the Q&A box. Okay, so we have another interesting question from Okay, so how can we explain new members? It's not all about getting money and doing speeches.
Right. This interesting question. So what I can tell is this: as a club, if you're facing this kind of a situation, ask yourself what kind of a experience are you giving for the members? Are you giving a quality experience? In your club, do you have enough speeches in the prepared speech segment? Do you have good evaluators giving good evaluations? Do you have educational sessions in your club? Like, if you can show the members the quality, and if you can tell them the journey that they can go through in Toastmasters, soon as they start the icebreaker, the learning, the entire journey, and if you can explain about the mentoring, Toastmasters mentoring, and how they can benefit from mentoring, if you can explain all these things to the new member, definitely it will be easy for you to keep that new member. And if it's a guest, convert that guest to a new member and get them continuing the Toastmasters journey. Most often what we have not seen, most of our clubs, I can't say most, some of our clubs are not giving a good quality member experience. So because of that, most oftenly members ask, do I need to renew next term? If your club is giving a quality member experience for your members, definitely your members will be there with your club. You can't just chase them, they will be there. So as a club officer, ask yourself, am I giving a quality member experience inside our club? What are the areas which we can improve as a club? Soon as the quality comes up, members will be there. You can retain members and you can attract more members. So think about the quality aspect and take steps to improve the quality in your club. That's the answer which I can give.
That was a very valuable answer indeed. So moving on, we have another question. Is it allowed to change the mentioned names of the club success plan and allow another member to complete the relevant level of the path?
Again, a wonderful question. So I said we need to review. Quarterly, we need to review and we need to update. Sometimes, yes, we need to change our plans. That is why I said we need to have backup plans. Just because you said one name that individual is going to complete that, there is no hard and fast rule that that individual needs to do it. Sometimes things might not go the way we want it to have happen. So at that point, if you have a backup, that backup person can come to your plan and you can put that person's name. Definitely you can change. That is why it's very important, quarterly review your plan and update according to the situation. Yes.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to the next question. In corporate clubs, if members are reluctant to attend due to work commitments, how can we encourage them to attend our meetings?
Wonderful. This answer might be a little bit lengthy, but bear with me, I have to give this answer. Most of the time, why this is happening right now, members are feeling that most of our members are working from home. So when we have online meetings also, they feel that it's just another meeting. As an executive committee, ask yourself how you can have how you can improve the educational factor, how you can add more value, how you can make it a little bit more fun, how you can have a proper exciting team to attract new members, and how you can make it a place where members can relax themselves and enjoy that 2-hour meeting. So if you can do all these things, improve the educational value in the meeting, if you can have a little bit of fun in the meeting, and if you can make sure that your meeting is a place where members can relax and enjoy the meeting, definitely, even though members have more work in their work life, they will come for your meetings because they know they are getting a good experience from your meeting. So do these few changes and try to improve that change in your meeting. Definitely members will come. It's a matter of motivating the members and showing them the value in your meeting. Soon as you show that value in your meeting, members will definitely come back and enjoy the meeting.
I think that's an important tip, not just for corporate clubs, but also for all the other clubs. Moving on to the next question. Our club is a newly chartered club and all the executive committee on the same level. So asking if you have any tips for the executive committee.
Wonderful. So if your club is a newly chartered club, how you can get more guidance is your club will have 2 mentors. I hope you know the 2 mentors of your club. If you don't know, whoever helped you in your chartering process, just go and talk to them. They will show and guide you with the 2 mentors. So for a charter executive committee, what I would say is when you do this club success plan, get the support of the mentors, because mentors will have more insight, more knowledge about activities, about Toastmasters, and they can help you to do a proper situational analysis at that point. So get the support of the club mentors and you can continue this journey. And those mentors will definitely help you and guide you.
All right, so I think we have a few seconds left. So if you have any questions, please do drop it in the Q&A box. Waiting. All right, then I think we can end the Q&A session at the moment. So thank you everyone for your active participation, and thank you once again, DTM Nisal. A great event isn't luck or timing. A great event is a great professional who spent countless hours planning, replanning, and understanding the ins and outs. Thank you, DTM Sanjeeva and DTM Nisal, for conducting 2 wonderful sessions and adding so much color to D82 Masterclass August edition. We shall conclude the proceedings for today, and we hope you get the best out of the evening. So we will see you soon at our next masterclass, which will be happening on the 24th of September, 2021. Until then, signing off, I'm Toastmaster Rochelle Tumodara. Stay safe and good night.